That's what Angela, an NHS administrator from Bournemouth, discovered. It started with a WhatsApp message from a number she didn't recognise. She assumed it was from Ed, one of her sons.
All of a sudden, I got this message on my mobile, and he says, "Hi, Mum, how are you?"
The Colombian-born Angela responded as she always did with her kids, in Spanish.
And I just said, "Es Ed?" So he said, "Yes, it is Ed."
This was the opening the scammer was looking for. With just 2 words, Angela has confirmed she does have children, and one of them is called Ed. The scam is now on, and incredibly, the scammers are ready to run it in Spanish.
Because he had gone to Mexico, and it had been a few months, I just said, his Spanish is gone so well. He said, "Please, Mom, I need your help. I'm in a lot of bother. So I forgot to pay these bills, and I need to pay them now."
It was in the middle of a hectic hospital shift, and Angela had little time to think, so she quickly paid online from her savings account. Then Ed messaged her back.
He said, please, Mom, I need another one." And I said, "Can I phone you now?" He said, "No, don't phone me. I am on the other line at the moment." But I did try the phone, but it was engaged.
She paid again. Then there was a third request for money, and a fourth. By now, Angela's bank was refusing to just wave the transactions through, but her so-called son had a solution.
He said, Mom, please phone the bank straight away, and you must not mention me." But I don't know why I did it. I silly phoned the bank, and I just said, "I want to approve these transactions I've made."
The scammers probably knew the bank would start asking questions, and they were ready. They asked Angela to mislead the bank, which should have been a big red flag.
And they did ask me, "Are you sure that this is not a scam?" But in my mind, it didn't. I didn't register the word scam because I was so sure that it was my son who was on the other line. Well, in total was £10,000 that the scammer took.
It was only after hours of requests for more and more money that Angela began to have her doubts.
For some reason, all of a sudden, it just came to my mind and I said, "What is the name of your teddy bear when you were a child?" And this person didn't answer absolutely nothing. So then I just said, "You're not dead. You're not dead." And I just let it. But then the money had gone.
This is a good tactic from Angela. Only the real Ed would know the answer to this question. The scammer is stumped, and he starts to panic.
And then what he did is, "Yes, I am your son, I am Ed, Mom, I am Ed, please help me, I've got another transaction." It was hard for me to come to terms with it, to know that by money, people get to your feelings and put you in that situations of your children, your family. It's horrible. It really is horrible, the way it made me feel.
In many ways, Angela was really unlucky. The scammers caught her when she was busy at her place of work. She did have a son who was abroad and may have needed money. And also she had money available there and then. But what's really shocking was the sophistication of the scammers' attack. They even managed to switch languages halfway through the scam, and within a matter of hours, they managed to get hold of thousands of pounds. So it's not just luck. These people are professional criminals who know exactly what they're doing. Christina found that out the hard way. She runs a food stall selling steak and chips at markets with her business partner, Fabian. They bank with a relatively new online-only company which uses QR codes as part of their security procedures. How are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm very good. Oh, look at that. I wish I was here to talk to you about the food. That looks delicious. But I'm here to get a different story from you guys. Christina, are you going to tell me the story?
Sure.
Okay. Let's find a quiet place you could tell me all about it.
One Friday evening, we received a phone call from a lady called Emily, claiming she's calling from the bank
Okay.
and saying that our bank account was compromised to some, suspicious activity. Therefore, she needs to double check everything with us and close the account.
How did she prove to you or try to prove to you that she was from your bank?
She first started confirming names,
Yeah.
addresses, telephone number, all the card details, literally everything.
She knew all that.
She knew all that, and we just had to say yes, yes, yes. So we did not give any information to her directly.
Many scams approach people at random, but in this case, a scammer had done some homework in order to seem more convincing. Unfortunately, it worked. Christina believed this Emily was from her bank, and she would be able to access a new safe bank account just by scanning a QR code.
So she emails that to you.
She emails that to us, and then instantly you're thinking, okay, this account is closed. Of course, I want to see where is the new one, because the other one is disabled. And yeah, that's what we did. We did scan it.
That emailed QR code gave Emily complete control of the account. It took just a few moments to steal £25,000.
When did you realise that this was a scam?
Well, she hung up. We asked her to call us back because I was getting very nervous that moment, and we tried to call and call and call, but then nobody responded. And then Fabian was trying to calm me down. He said, "It's okay, it's evening, maybe they've closed already." And I was saying, no.
Did you get any sort of warning on your app, any message, any text, anything from your bank saying, "Are you sure you want to do this"?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like many banks, Christina's has multiple layers of security, but they were defeated in an instant when she scanned that code. So far, so scary. But because her bank only exists online, and because Christina only had a basic account, she can only report scams via the chat function in her app. So she started a chat. And she waited.
So how much time has elapsed now between you first reporting the scam and nothing happening?
I would say maybe a week and a
week?
half, or nearly 2 weeks.
So nearly 2 weeks you're sitting there dealing with chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Up until that moment, has the bank said anything to you about, okay, we're going to give you your money back?
No. Oh, definitely.
Did they
not.
offer anything?
I think they offered to return us 24 pence.
I'm sorry, what?
24 pence.
24 pence?
Yes.
How much money was taken out of the account?
£25,000.
25,000
Yeah.
is 24p.
Exactly.
And to this day, has the bank explained to you what happened?
Well, nobody really explained. No.
No.
They kind of blamed us. They said that that was our own fault because we scanned the QR code. We should have knew that nobody would call from the bank.
So they're basically saying it was your fault
Yes.
that someone called you with
Yes.
so much information that it was hugely convincing, sent you a QR code,
Yeah.
and they said that that was your fault that you lost your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul and Barbara Giel were tricked in that way, exposing both themselves and the food bank they help run from their church in Kidderminster.
With every box, we will send out a packet of cereal and a bag of that fresh food, plus bread that we receive from the local cooperative store. We are getting a lot of new referrals at the moment that are citing the utility crisis as being one of the main reasons why they can't afford to feed their families.
While Paul does much of the organising, Barbara looks after the food bank's finances via the church's online bank account. Right now, cost of living issues are a major concern for everyone. But back in May 2022, Barbara got a text about a different national crisis.
On the phone it said, "This is an NHS alert. You've been in contact with somebody with COVID and you need to pay us 99p to get your test." I said to Paul, "Can I borrow your card?" and just do it, you know.
At first, the Giels thought little more about it. But as they set off on their food bank delivery round, Paul did start to think about it.
We're out in the car talking. I said, it's a scam. You don't need to pay 99p for a test. The COVID tests at that point in May were still free. Somebody's trying to catch us out.
This is exactly what to do when something out of the ordinary happens. Paul thought about it and he spotted the scam. Well, the first scam anyway.
Paul did everything he was supposed to do. When he spotted something wasn't right, he called his bank and had his card cancelled. So you might think, well, he lost 99p, so what? Lesson learnt, right? Wrong.
It was sort of mid-afternoon. We had this phone call from somebody claiming to be from Santander Fraud Department.
And there it is. The scammers can no longer use Paul's bank card, but rather than give up, they call him with a second scam they had ready and waiting.
So I had a chat with them and then they started asking how it had happened. They started asking the details of the text and the message and so on. And I said, well, it was mainly at Barbara, but it was my card that was used. So then they started asking, did Barbara have any other accounts that her name was on?
I said to them that, that we run a food bank at the church and we've got this charity account.
The scammer passed that valuable information on to a mate. That mate then called Barbara back, claiming to be from the co-op where she kept the charity account.
They felt that we had a malware in our system and that they had to clean it out. Well, we're not very computer literate, really.
Then they said, would Barbara open the co-op bank account? And he kept stressing, don't tell me anything, don't tell me any numbers, don't tell me anything, but will you enter your passcodes and information and get into the account, which we did.
Using different callers makes the scam seem more genuine and gives the scammers even more chances to steal. Throughout that evening, they kept calling the Giels, logging into their computer as Paul and Barbara logged into various bank accounts. When they checked the next morning to see if the virus had gone, they found all their money was gone, and so was the food banks.
They had taken £53,000 out of this account. We lost our money and we'd also lost the church money as well. But our money didn't bother us at that time because it was ours, we'd done it and that was it. But the church and the food bank money, that really hurt that I'd lost that. I was just in pieces thinking, how on earth will the food bank manage?
Being Christians, being church people, being people that have always trusted people and always probably believed for the good in people, I just fell for it, hook, line and sinker, really. I was easy to scam, probably.
I mean, you look back and you think, why did I do it?
In a lot of these scams that we've seen, victims have to do something, take some action, click on a link, scan a QR code, visit a website. But there is a scam out there where victims do nothing and still find that their money has gone missing.
Charlotte was recently hit with this wicked new scam.
Myself and my friend were going to the gym close by to where I work. When we got there, we were told not to bother getting our gym passes out, which activate the security barriers, because they weren't working. So I was in the gym for longer than I normally would have been, which is very unfortunate. So when I returned to my locker, it was open and empty. And obviously, I went up to reception, and before I even said anything, there was a lady there who probably read the expression on my face and said the words, "Oh no, not you as well." And it turns out that another lady had also had her locker broken into and her belongings stolen. So there were two of us suddenly without anything, without our phones, our keys, our bank cards.
Everything
had gone.
I mean, that's a terrible, terrible position to be, that realization. Your cards, your phone. What did you do?
So the first thing I did was panic, as any other person I think would have done. But I'm processing this thinking, right, okay, I can't even get home to my flat. The first thing I did was phone the police. I just thought I need to report this and was given a crime reference number and then immediately phoned my bank. The priority obviously is to cancel my cards. So the operator on the phone to the bank says, "I've cancelled your cards." And then he starts giving me the bad news.
Oh.
So there's already been activity on my account during this time.
Oh dear. Well, scammers know time isn't on their side, so they will often do as much damage as they can before they're stopped.
So what was the bad news? How much money were they spending?
Well, it just got worse during that phone call, really. They'd been to an Apple store in London, in Westfield, and they'd spent around £3,000 in the first Apple store. And they didn't stop there. After that, they got a cab down to Regent Street and went to a second Apple store.
Right.
And spent just over £1,000. And then after that, they went to Selfridges.
Okay.
And they'd spent £950 there, so just under £1,000 in Selfridges as well.
So that initial phone call, which is just you sort of saying, "Can you please cancel my cards because I've lost them," they then tell you you're out of pocket to the tune of?
Just under £5,000. It would have been more, but some transactions managed to be cancelled.
Okay.
The thing that confused me was that I didn't have that amount in my bank account. So how on earth have they managed to spend this much money? The call handler from the bank tells me, "Oh, the reason they've managed to spend more than what's in your current account is because they've also hacked into your savings account and transferred your savings to your current account, which is then connected to the card, and they've used chip and PIN to spend these amounts." But in my head, that didn't make any sense. I thought, how can this person know my PIN number?
As for Charlotte, she felt entitled to a refund because she lost the money through no fault of her own. The bank didn't see it that way.
My bank calls me and tells me that they won't be refunding me the money.
They're not going to be giving you the money?
They're not going to give me anything back because the person who was responsible had used my PIN number, and they were accusing me of being negligent with my security by leaving my PIN number somewhere that they could have accessed, in the bag itself, on the card itself, saved in my phone. All these sorts of ridiculous accusations and ideas that obviously no one would ever do.
And none of that is true?
None of that's true, no.
And when you tell them that, their response is?
"We don't believe you."
Right.
I'm now significantly out of pocket here, and I'm feeling like the criminal and distressed. I didn't know what to do, so I did what anyone does these days. I posted something online just to see if anyone else had been in a similar situation.
That's a good idea. If you've asked for help and you're not getting it, speak out. Charlotte's bank decided to reconsider her case.
They still didn't really accept that I wasn't negligent with my security, but they said that they were now more open to other ways that this could have happened.
Okay. First things first, did you get your money back?
Eventually I did get my money back.
All of it?
All of it, yes.
Okay. But the bank never really said, "Here's your money back," because actually what happened was not your fault.
I think that there's a huge loophole in the system here, and banks don't quite know how to deal with it. And this is happening now on such a big scale that banks probably are reluctant to accept, that it's not the customer's fault immediately. And the customer has to fight it then in order to get that payout.
I find cases like Charlotte's extremely frustrating because not only has she been put in a hugely vulnerable and compromising position with no one to turn to, but also it's only through her own persistence and hard work and dedication that she managed to actually get her money back, and that's just not right.
However, as Charlotte proved, the situation for scam victims isn't totally hopeless. And there is good news in other cases we featured in this show. Just like Charlotte, Christina felt her bank was wrong to blame her for losing £25,000.
She wrote to her MP and the bank refunded her in full, plus £500 for distress caused.
Even better, they've updated their security systems so customers are protected from that particular QR code scam. Both the Giels and Angela bank with Lending Standards Board members, so they did get help. The Giels and the food bank were given full refunds straight away. Angela, who was tricked into misleading her bank, faced a trickier situation.
Now, she didn't get all of her money back. She sent around £10,000. She got about £6,500 of it back, so she was still £3,500 out of pocket to the scammers.
It's a stark reminder for us all to look for those red flags: urgency, emotion, a call to action, and to think before you act.
Above all, remember, if someone asks you for money, then it's okay to ask a few awkward questions in return.